Good morning and hello everyone. We are so excited to join you for another incredible co-taught Minecraft lesson. Today we're going to be diving into Code Town. So buckle up, you are in for a great ride this morning. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Emma Cottier. I'm from Victoria, British Columbia. And Trish, you want to say hello?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Trish, and I'm here in Edmonton, Alberta.
Perfect. Awesome. And we have some incredible speakers as well today. We are so lucky to have them, but we're going to introduce them in just a minute. We would like to acknowledge that we are participating in learning. You're probably joining from one of the traditional territory lands of one of our many Indigenous groups across Canada. I'd like to acknowledge that I'm from the traditional territory of the local West Saanich people. It's a beautiful coastal land in which I'm able to work, teach, play, and explore my passion of you. And today, jumping into Code Town. We want to give a huge thank you to Minecraft Education Edition for supporting this session. Students, you are so lucky to be able to diving into that, and we're so grateful to be here today. Probably give a sneak peek Layla. She's been a huge part of this project. She might be joining this call today, so stay tuned. She's going to give her little insight on the world of Code Town. But first, students, we're just going to go over our plan. So our plan today, we're going to meet Kevin. Kevin is a local technology expert. He's going to introduce himself in just a minute. We're going to meet Layla. We're going to have an opportunity to answer your questions that you might have. And we have 3 challenges set out for you in the Code Town. Now, before we get started, remember that you can see and hear us, but we can't see or hear you. We have this form that you can interact with us. So in a new tab on your device, if you type in thecc.page/MEE, so that's Minecraft Education Edition, if you type in that form, you can interact with us. You can ask us questions. You can tell us about your Code Town. So take a minute. Load that up in a new tab. We love to hear from you during these sessions. Now, we'd love to know a little bit about your coding experience. Now, Trish and I were talking before we started, we've been talking about blocks and Python and, there's HTML and Java. Like, Trish, do you have like a go-to? I'm going to put you on the spot here, but do you have like a go-to when you're coding?
I absolutely do. So, for me, I absolutely love the visual block-based coding. I think it's everyone's start. And if anybody ever tells you it's not real coding, they're wrong, because real coding is real thinking and problem solving. The logic matters, not the language. But I think one of my favorites is, I think Python. I love the Internet of Things. I love building gadgets for the house, automatic kitten treat feeders and things like that. So I have a lot of fun, but I needed to start with things like this, those visual blocks, to help me figure out the problem solving.
I love it. I'm really virtual. I am virtual, but I'm also very visual. I love the blocks. And you know what I love in the form? We have a Miles, we have an Abby, they have a Michelle, and they're basically telling us, Trish, like, let's go, let's do this coding. And you know what, students, we will, but we have an incredible person to introduce to you first. I want to introduce, we have Kevin Bobroski joining us here. He's the Chief Information Security Officer and IT Executive. Kevin, we're going to turn it over to you for a few minutes to give us some really helpful things when we're working in the digital world.
Yeah, sounds great. Actually, it's really exciting to hear you guys talk about coding, because that is the future of a lot of jobs. So as you guys get out there and get out in the workforce, these skills are going to be absolutely fantastic for you. So Emma did reach out to me a couple of days ago and wanted me to share some information about, as people get more online and we hear about all the bad things that can happen, if I could share, a couple things from my experience that may help you guys. And hopefully this won't be too dry, and hopefully it'll be some of the things that that you guys can use. So I'm going to share a PowerPoint presentation to help keep me on track a little bit. Let's go here. Actually, sorry, I should have this loaded up. And, oops, I got Emma in the way. Okay. Can you guys see that all right?
Yeah, Kevin, that looks great.
Okay. So when you get on the internet, the one thing that's really cool is it gets you connected. There's all kinds of things you can do. There's online games and whatnot, but it also exposes you to a lot of what we call bad actors. They can be anybody around the world. So as you have your online accounts and you start playing those online games like Minecraft and well, there's a bunch of them out there. I won't even begin to try to name them all. There's a few things that you should be aware of, and it's mostly about the people that have access to that information. You think that you're going online and you're playing with your friends, but there could be a lot of other people out there that have that access to that information. So some of the things that we want to do is make sure that we are playing with our friends and we're avoiding the hackers and we're avoiding giving the hackers or bad actors information that they may be able to use against you. So it sucks that we're in a world of being, trust nobody, but that's really what we're in, and it's sort of getting worse. So we have to make sure that as we enter information or set up these accounts, that we follow some best practices to try to keep ourselves safe. So these are some of the areas that are very important and areas that people can use to abuse and get more information about you. So passwords. The number one thing out there is people are looking to try to find as many passwords as they can. They can find passwords, and it may not be something that you've done wrong. It may be something that you have another game that you play, or social media or something like that, and you've set up an account and that gets compromised. So now your information's out on the internet. So it's important to make sure that you're following some really good best practices for passwords, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Be aware that you have to make sure that you keep your information private. Anything that you put out on the internet, whether it's you're signing up for a new account or whatever, and you put your name and address and birth date and all that stuff, that's information that people can get access to. So if you don't need it, don't put it out there, because it's out there for good. And even though you might delete that account or do something, it's always out there. So it could be a year down the road and somebody gets access to that information, and you don't know that, and then it can start using that against you. Everybody's computers, everybody's phone, half the stuff in your house now probably is connected to the internet. And it's important to know that those things, if they're not set up properly, are hackable. There are websites out there that are actually really scary, because they go out there and they look for stuff to hack, and they just gather all that information. So if you're really good at a certain type of way of getting into something, you just have to go and look it up and go and attack it. You don't have to go and find it. It's already there on a website. So there's some pretty scary things and really easy ways for people to be able to find you, so you can't hide anymore. And the last one is about phishing. And phishing is kind of a weird name, but it's about people going out there and trying to trick you into doing something that will then give up some information. And phishing, it's not just sending out bad emails. It can come through social media. It can come through your text messaging on your phone. It can come through any way. And again, we'll get into that in a second here, because that is one of the main ways that the bad guys get out there and get your information and get you to disclose stuff that you shouldn't. So here's an example. Well, in a second here. There we go. Here's an example of something you might get, whether it's within a game. Sometimes they pop up, usually an email. They can come through social media. They can come through any different ways, but all of a sudden you'll get this pop-up that says, hey, congratulations, you've won $1 million. You're the millionth visitor this week. This kind of stuff doesn't happen, legitimately. People don't give you things for free. It just doesn't happen. Everybody would like to think that they're going to get something for free, but it isn't. Now, there's always things that you can look for in there. For one, if they're trying to tell you that they're going to give you the next EA game, EA doesn't give away games. So when you look at things, there's no such thing as a website giveaway very often. The things that they want to do is they encourage you, they try to play on you and make you not think about it. So everything that says, hey, you have to do this now, click now, do this now, means that they're trying to say, hey, don't think about it, just go and do it. And as soon as you do that, you're done. So make sure that if you get a window like this, it pops up, don't click the OK button, just click the X in the top corner and then close the window down. Expect the fact that you just didn't win that and just move on. So this is absolutely, you guys, the number one way that hackers get access to your information, because the next screen that you go to is either already dropping something onto your computer for the bad guys to be able to hack into your computer, or get you to put information in that you probably shouldn't put in. So this is all bad things. As soon as you get something like that, move on. So when you open up your accounts and you do things online, there's all kinds of information that they ask for. Remember, I already said that anything that you put on the internet is there for good. So don't put anything on there. You wouldn't walk up to a stranger and say, hey, I live at this address and I'm this, I'm this 7 years old and here's where my home is. If you wouldn't do that to a stranger, don't put it on the internet. So keep your information private. Don't use your real birth date unless you're on a medical site or something like that where you absolutely have to, because that's another thing that people are going to be looking for in ways that they want to try to find you. Don't grab your parents' credit card and stick it on there, because if that website that you're doing that at gets compromised, then all of a sudden their website gets compromised and all the information and all of the money that they were going to use on your Christmas gifts just go out to the bad guys. So be careful about that. Strong passwords we're going to talk about in a second, but start thinking about using passphrases, not passwords, and don't reuse them. So, but again, we'll get into that in a second. Only use secure websites. I know I'm bombarding you with a bunch of information. This one is probably a little bit more difficult. It makes sure that the information that you're transferring back and forth between websites is secure. Otherwise, people can watch what you're doing and see what's going on out there. And again, don't share anything about where you live. Don't share anything about your personal information. There's very, very few websites or places that you can go on the internet that will require that. So don't do that. Remember, you guys, it would be just like walking up to a stranger and giving them all that information, and you would never do that. So think about that when you're online. It's a little bit easier to forget about that when you don't see somebody, but the reality is that's what you're doing. You're not only exposing that to one person, you're exposing it to a whole bunch of people. So last thing, I just want to talk about passwords a little bit deeper because it is really important. To be able to hack a password if they ever got their hands on it is really easy. It used to be where they used to say, okay, well, like that first example for a holiday where I replaced a couple of the O with a 0 and the A with an @ symbol. That's very common. That's what people were doing for a long time. That's almost as easy to hack as holiday. So that isn't good enough anymore. So use on number 2 there, where I used a passphrase. I love Minecraft after school. That's almost the length of that password or passphrase makes it unhackable. So they've found now that using a longer password or a passphrase actually makes it more secure, and it's way easier to remember. So when you're creating your own passwords, start thinking about passphrases, use spaces, use a complete sentence. It's going to be easier for you to remember. And it's going to be virtually unhackable for the users. One of the most common things that used to happen, people would use their pets' names and things like that. Well, guess what? You go on your social media and your Facebook and you share your pet, and immediately the bad actors will be able to put all those pieces together and guess your password pretty quickly. So, and the last thing that I want to talk about there is don't save your passwords onto like shared devices or anything like that. Don't stick it out there where it's easy to find. There are things called password vaults and different things out there that as you guys get more online and start doing more things online, start looking at tools that can help you manage your passwords, and that's going to keep you a lot safer than the way people are using them today. So that's pretty much all that I really wanted to share with you guys. I know it was a lot of information, but I know that you guys got some more interesting stuff that you want to get onto. So without any further ado, thank you.
No, thank you, Kevin. Those are amazing reminders to have. Lots of information, lots of great takeaways. So thank you so much for that. We appreciate you taking the time. We have one question in the forum, and Yadish wants to know, have you ever been hacked, Kevin?
I've never been hacked, fortunately, but I have had some of my customers have some pretty bad experiences, and that's really what got me into the business of cybersecurity, is to help other people.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. We appreciate you taking the time. You have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, you too.
Now on the call here, we have Layla. Layla, do you want to hop on and say hello? Now, students, you are so lucky. Layla is coming in from Minecraft EDU. Layla, come join us.
Well, I just want to say thank you very much and hi, everybody. And I know you're ready to go start the Code Town Challenge. So I just want to say hello from Minecraft. I'm really excited for Hour of Code this and CS Ed Week this week, and that you are taking on the challenge of coding. I also am a big block coding fan as well. Even though our Hour of Code can be done in block and Python, for me, block coding is just it's just fun. It's fun, especially when I'm enjoying or trying to learn something new in programming, a new concept. I can see it in the block coding. So if you're beginning to your first coding experience and you say, oh, should I do block or Python? If you're beginning, block is a great place to start. So those of you who are thinking about what sounds better, definitely go for block as a beginning choice. And if you want to try something, if you're pretty good at block already and you want to try something new, Python is certainly the language that is, it is a programming language that is becoming more and more popular. It's certainly a language that we use at work. So if it's something that you want to, if you're interested in a career in computer science or in technology or even kind of around it, it's great as well. I am not a developer, I'm not a programmer, but I did make this year's Hour of Code. So Timecraft, I do want to just share with you a little bit about that after CodeTown, and a funny story about CodeTown too. So as you know, this year is Hour of Code. We have Hour of Code every single year. Minecraft Education has made Hour of Code Timecraft. It's a really fun game where you travel through time and have to visit different important moments in history where something has gone wrong and weird, and you have to use your coding superpowers to fix those moments in time. You'll find some surprises in this year's game, like you get to choose your own agent, and there's 5. There are culprits in the game. Everybody will have a different ending, and you can replay and replay the game over and over again and get better at your coding and have a different game every time you play. So making this year's game was the very first time I ever made a Minecraft Hour of Code game, was super fun, and I hope you enjoy it and have time. So here's a funny story about CodeTown, which you are about to play. I don't want to take up too much of your time. So when we first made our first Hour of Code in the game in 2019, we made a really long game. Like the game was just too long. And so we were told you've got to cut the game up. So we had a game that we put out called Artificial Intelligence Hour of Code, but then we had all of a kind of extra part of the game. Well, that extra part of the game is CodeTown. It was the second part that we couldn't fit in the first part of the Hour of Code. So we had enough material to make a whole other game. So it's kind of like Hour of Code Part 2, which actually turns out to be really fun. It's actually one of the most popular games we have in the history of Minecraft education, Hour of Code. This year's is probably a little bit more popular because it's new. So encourage you to try that as well after you do this year's Hour of Code CodeTown as well. It's a fun factoid, a little extra that you didn't know. And all of our Hour of Codes had been designed by our designer, Cole Phillips. He's a really great guy, and I work with him to develop all of our computer science content and this year's Hour of Code. So have fun, enjoy it, enjoy your block or Python, and thank you so much for being here today with Cobblestone.
No, Layla, we're so lucky to have you join this call. And I'm sure the students are just wondering, okay, how did you get that dream job of designing and creating things like CodeTown? Any advice you have for the students to, acquire your dream job?
Absolutely. Go for it. Don't ever think that you don't belong. I used to be really shy and probably lacked a little bit of confidence and thought that, those kinds of jobs and those or that kind of career was something that wasn't for me. And I used to look at people's LinkedIn profiles or see celebrities and think, oh, or think of the game I loved as a kid growing up and say, oh, that's not for me. And I had a teacher, her Miss Worley, and in 9th grade, I was not behaving well in class, and she sat me down and she said, Lila, you have a choice. You can be everything you want to be, or you can be who other people tell you to be. You can be anything you want, but you have to always try. I'm still friends with Miss Worley. And that was a moment that I said, even if I think I can't make it, I'm going to do it anyway. So that's just to say, if the test is really hard and you think don't let the message in your head tell you can't. If you think you don't want to run for office for student government, go do it anyway. Just try. You may lose, but you'll win something else that you don't realize at the time. So if there's a job I like, I just apply. I just get my name out there, and I think of everything as just a way to meet somebody. And I don't worry about if I don't get it or not. I just think of everything as like, I'm going to go meet somebody and have tea or have a coffee or have a Coke with them. And yeah, that's it.
That is such great advice, Layla, and so powerful for our students today. Thank you again. I always like to think of that uncomfortable zone, that risk. That is where the best rewards lie. So put yourself out there, because you never know. You might be working with Layla one day.
Yeah, come on, join us. I never thought I'd be working for Minecraft. I used to work for Lego, believe it or not. So I worked at Lego first and then went to Minecraft. And so I used to think, oh my God, these are dream jobs. I love Lego and I love Minecraft. And I used to be a teacher. I was a teacher for 17 years. And someone asked me to do something during the summer many years ago. And I thought, oh, I don't want to work during my vacation. But I thought, okay, it makes me uncomfortable. Let me go try. That was the second piece of advice I will say. My mom always told me, if something makes you feel uncomfortable and in work, okay, in work, it's like it's challenging, that you think you can't do it, it's a sign that there's a skill that you have to learn. So
that's awesome. Layla, we have one of our viewers that has a question for you. Do you have time for a question? This is from Rathiga. And she wants to know, have you ever been discriminated for your gender, for being a girl, a programmer, coder, working at Minecraft?
Sure. Not only for being a girl, for being an immigrant, for being Cuban, I'm Cuban, for not speaking English. I can think of a million things. And it used to make me sad. Like, for example, on St. Patrick's Day, I remember they said, oh, kiss me, I'm Irish. And I said, oh, I'm not Irish. I don't know what this means. And people made fun of me when I was young, like second grade, I remember that. And it's certainly there are moments as an adult even that you will be the only woman in the room or in the Zoom call. And I think that things are a little bit different. It does happen even in emails sometimes, that people will send you a message that they probably wouldn't send a man. And you have to always stand up for yourself. You have to be probably stronger. And when you see injustice, you especially for others, and be an ally, you have to stand up and protect them as well. So even though it does happen to you, the way that you arm yourself is a couple of different ways. One, you learn more. Have the skills, take the classes, get the experience. That's the most important thing. I think no one can take away your education. No one can take it away from you. It's what's gotten me to this country. It's no one can take it away. So if the more you study, the more you learn, that's yours. And you can choose to do with it what you want to do. The second thing is to be an ally. You'll have friends that are treated poorly, that are bullied for whatever reason, just that they're different. Be there for them, stand up for them. And when you stand up for other people, that kind of behavior won't be tolerated. They'll at least know what the right thing to do is. So I would tell you that discrimination happens all over the place. We all know what bullying like. Discrimination in the workplace is just another form of bullying. So we have to stand up for each other. And when we stand up for each other, we stand up for ourselves.
Layla, wow, such amazing words, and so nice to have you connected to our call today. We thank you so much for taking the time. We have learned so much from you, and we hope to see you soon.
Thanks so much. See you. Have fun.
Thank you. All right, students, we are getting ready. We're going to be diving into Code Town. Trish, are you just so excited?
It's like I'm, how we're all getting excited, waiting for like our winter holidays to start. I'm sitting here just excited. My children were going to school today and they can see my computer screens and they're like, you get to stay here and do Minecraft? and we have to go to school. So this is going to be a very fun morning. I am very excited to be your student today.
I'm going to be guiding Trish along in CodeTown, but together we have you. Students, let's get ready. So the very first thing is in the Microsoft, you're going to open the application on your device and use your sign-in. So that's going to be your school account. So make sure you sign in. When it loads up, you're simply going to be clicking that hour of code. But students, if you, so just know, I believe on some devices, if you don't have a device, it can say like, do the demo, but just not to worry, take a moment. Teachers, this might be a great time to pause. Make sure your students are all logged in, but your username, your password, you will click hour of code. You can also click play because there's actually 2 ways to get to CodeTown in there. So students, get logged in, pauses if you need to, because we're going to be diving in. Now, CodeTown, like I said, is under the hour of code, but we also just wanted to let you know that if you went into the library of Minecraft, it is in there. It is under the subject kits, under computer science, under the hour of code. So I love how Minecraft EDU has put it in 2 locations to help you find it. So if you say a little while from now when it's not Computer Science Education Week and you don't see that hour of code, just know that you can go into your library. The subject kits, computer science, and the hour of code is located under there as well. 2 great spots to find it. When you see, you're going to see this Minecraft, you're going to click on Minecraft CodeTown. So as we speak, Trish is loading up hers, getting it all ready to go, but make sure you click Minecraft CodeTown. That will be the one we are jumping into today. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about CodeTown before we start jumping in. We want to remind you of the controls. When your Minecraft is open, if you don't see the controls, you can hit H. H on your keyboard will allow you to see them. The main ones we're going to use to move around today is the forward and the back. So W and S, you can also use your mouse to help you move around. So just keep in mind the controls. If you can't see them, you'll be clicking H on your keyboard. And we really encourage you, this is a big thing about the coding challenge today, you're going to have the NPC characters all the way around. So Trish is going to start showing us right now, but she, just keep in mind, interacting with these people is going to be huge. So Trish, if you want to go ahead and share your screen, we're going to start talking the students through the CodeTown.
Awesome. All right. I'm just getting everything all lined up so we are set. Hopefully you're seeing I've got my Minecraft Education Edition open. I'm ready to go ahead. I'm logged in. I'm going to click Hour of Code. And right there on the right-hand side, I can see CodeTown. And I'm ready to jump in and create my world.
Thanks, Trish. So we're diving in, creating the world. It's going to load up. So just remember with your username, your password, and this world is incredible. I'm going to tell you a little about it. There is a total of 9 challenges to complete. Each challenge will give you a puzzle piece. And you know the cool thing I like about this, Trish, is your mural will actually change. Like your puzzle pieces are actually themed based off one of the options you will choose. So Trish is going to show you that in just a minute. So it's loading up. So it's a total of 9 challenges. Now, we only have an hour to code with you. So just know that you can dive into CodeTown later. There is 9. It's an amazing little town. Each kind of building has its own separate challenge. And to know about the challenges, you're going to interact with the NPC characters. So make sure you're interacting with the villagers. So Trish is now loaded up. This is what she sees when she opens. She might just have to move a little bit forward to interact with the villager. And on your, depending on your device, Trish, on my device, it's a right click.
Me too. If I right click as soon as I approach my NPC, then I'm able to interact with their dialogue.
Awesome. So here's our tour guide. Our tour guide says, so you want to go to CodeTown? No problem. They have a beautiful mural. Before you can go to your visit, can you tell me the nature? And I actually have a suspicion that what you choose here might influence your mural. So It doesn't matter which one you pick. Trisha, you have the option of exploration, excitement, wildlife, nature, friendship, science. Go ahead and pick one.
Well, since I'm here with so many coding friends today, and we're all very excited about that, I'm going to pick friendship. And I am. Look at that in this beautiful town.
Okay, so we are in Code Town. Trisha's just going to show us around a little bit. You can see that there's pathways straight ahead when you walk in. Trish, you want to show the mural? So you can see the mural is a 3x3 grid. So that's hinting that there's those 9 puzzle pieces. So if you, we're going to give you a chance to explore the town, but we're going to just jump into our first one. That's the mural. And you can always click on the people. So Trish, why don't we click on the NPC character and see what they have to say? All right, when you see my fellow villagers, so this is Allie with an I, please talk to them. They will tell you how to get the puzzle pieces. Make sure you click the start button to begin their challenges. Now, Trish, this is something really important to know.
Okay.
If you start your coding and you're like, oh, I've made a mistake, or I want to try a different strategy. Right. Make sure you click on the person and you click start over. So it's really important just to know, interact with your people. You will either hit start or you'll hit kind of try again. But it's really important, if you want to try a different strategy with your coding, go back to your villager, make sure you click start over, or your code agent might get a little confused.
Okay, and you know what, when I'm coding, the thing is, I start over a lot because it's iterations. I start with one piece of code and I want to add another layer of code. And yeah, if my agent doesn't reset, that might get a little complicated.
Yeah, and you know what we like? Try out different strategies. That's the amazing thing about code. Now, our other character here is going to tell you a little bit about the mural. And so, sad Biff. So he says our town portrait is missing. It was constructed of 9 puzzle-like pieces that are now scattered throughout the village. Use your coding skills to find the puzzle pieces, bring them back here, place them in the frames to my right, and restore our glorious town portrait. So Trish, do you think we can help with the portrait?
I feel like Indiana Jones today. I get to go on an adventure. I get to find missing artifacts. I get to code. It's the best day in school ever. I love this.
Best day ever. So we might as well click, I'm ready, let's dive in. If you're looking at the mural, we're going to go directly to the right, and we're going to go to that first building there with the glass. That's going to be our first challenge. This one is called Broken Glass. So Trisha's going to start by clicking on the villager, and this is Babs. Babs says, oh no, there is broken glass all over the floor in there. No one should go in until it's picked up. Can you send in the agent to collect all the glass? Now, Trish, right before we dive in, do you see how there's that little book there?
Yes,
that's
right here.
Called Immersive Reader. I just want to tell our viewers about that. If you want to, we love Immersive Reader. I'm sure I speak for Trish too, but Immersive Reader in Minecraft is incredible. So if you would like the challenge read out to you, click on that little book. It's going to read it out to you. So just know that option is there for you as well. So we wanted to just tell you about the Immersive Reader if you want it read out loud, and nothing wrong with that. If you're super into the coding, why not have them read it to you? And it's available in different languages as well. So Immersive Reader, amazing. Okay, so it says we need to pick up all the broken glass. So Trish, let's maybe make some observations before we dive into our code. And we're going to click start because we're going to be like, yep, we're going to start this challenge. Now, if we peer through this glass, we can see that our code agent's in the middle, and we can see that there's a treasure chest across. I would assume that's where our puzzle piece is. So we're going to want to unlock this. And somehow we need to code that agent to move across the floor to collect all those pieces of glass. So Trish, if you want to maybe walk to the side of it, like behind the code agent, I always, and sometimes I even grab some paper. Like I have some paper right here. Sometimes I make little notes because I can't always keep track of it. So I'm going to write down some notes. So Trish, let's make some observations here. How many spaces do you think our code agent would need to move forward?
Well, I'm looking at this right now and I love the grid. It's kind of like those tiled floors we see in school. We can count those steps places. And so because I'm currently standing on one of the squares, it looks like I can move forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces, and then I'm in front of the chest.
Awesome. So yeah, which is amazing. So maybe we start our coding, and maybe we'll give you a little hint. In Minecraft, it's going to be C for code and T for talk. Two really important commands. I'm going to say that again. C for code and T for talk. So if we're ready to start coding, but I'm going to make a few notes here. So I know for my code agent to pick up this glass, he'll just need, our first piece of glass, I think, is actually just one ahead of him. So maybe I code, what do you think, Trish? Like if we code our code agent 1 forward, so I make these little notes, but I also have to tell our code agent to pick up the glass. So maybe a strategy we have, Trish, before we start typing in our code, why don't we hit C for code and see what our blocks look like? That might help us to pick it together. Now, students, there's 2 kind of blocks in the workspace. So if Trish uses her mouse, the workspace is that kind of lighter gray area. We have 2 commands. So the on start would be like when you hit the green button, it'll start automatically. But some of you in Minecraft like using your chat commands. So
that's my favorite way too, is to use the chat command. I love it.
So are we chat commanding today?
Let's chat command. I think it makes me feel like even more of a coder because I'm putting in those script commands to run my code.
Oh, sorry. So we are going to chat command, and we said the chat command in that code says run. So if Trisha, when she was done her code, put T for talk and typed in run, then it's going to run this coding. So we know on the left hand side, so we have on chat command has jump, so we could use either. We have a collect all, an agent move. Now, Trisha, I noticed there's a drop down menu there.
That's
so
right.
We can move, and these are important things to keep in mind. These are our directions for our code agent. So we can code forward, back, left, right, up, down. Okay, so it's good to kind of know what we're working with. Then we have, what do we have underneath, Trish? We have agent turn. And our agent can turn left or right. Okay, good to know.
And I always have to remember turning isn't moving. Turning is just turning. Turning isn't moving and going, right? Like I had to wrap my head around that the first time.
And you know what, Trish? This is a lesson learned from me in Minecraft Code Town. Always be aware of which direction your code agent is facing, because one time I was like coding, and I was like, I don't know why I'm not right. You need to look where the eyes or the code agent, because that is the direction they're going. So take note, always know which direction your code agent is facing, because that's going to play a big factor in your code. And then we have the repeat. So if we notice any patterns, and teachers are going to love this, all these codes have patterns today. If you notice a pattern, we can put a repeat loop on there so that we don't have to, keep listening the code. Now, students, we want to remind you that Trish and I might code one way, but that's the beauty of code, is your code may not look the same, but you can still achieve the same results. Isn't that so important, Trish?
That's the best part, because coding, and when we get a little bit of source code, so that code to help us get started, that's one possibility. I think coding is like art. We all get given the same paints, the same crayons, but our art is all going to be different based on our creativity. So that's what I love about code.
All right, so I love that. So we're going to guide you through this first one, and then we're going to give you a little more kind of freedom on the next couple, but we want to truly show you how these works, and we want to make sure that you can get that first puzzle piece for the mural. So now we know what pieces we are working with. Trish, why don't we go back and make some more observations, and then we will try out our code. So with my build agent, my code agent, sorry, he's my code agent, and you'll notice here we'll probably need to reset because that glass has gone away. So if that happens to you, if you're like, I've opened up my coding and I don't see it, simply just go back to your villager, click try again, because every time you go to the code, it's thinking you're going to run it. So just hit try again if you don't see that glass. Now, with my code agent, Trish, I'm thinking I'm going to move my agent forward by 1. I'm going to instruct them to collect, but I think I'm actually going to repeat that motion 6 times so I can get them to the end of that first one. So that's what I'm thinking. Now that's going to collect the glass. I think when we collect the glass, my code agent will that will allow us to get the glass of kind of those inner 3 sections or pathways, like straight ahead. Now we need to be able to get the ones on the left-hand side of our code agent. So if we move forward 1 and collect 1, and then repeat it 6 times, it's going to get us, really, actually, our code agent is going to be at that dark square right in front of our treasure chest. So what do you think, Trisha? Should we maybe code our code agent to go to the left?
I like that idea, but you know what I think I want to do? Just because it's like, maybe people haven't coded this before, can we try that first piece of code to even see if it'll work? Like, before I build my code too big, can I start with smaller code and then try it again and build on more code and more code? Is like, yes. Can we do that?
Let's do it. Yes. So let's try our first piece to get our code agent across the room. Trish loves her chat command, so let's stick with that. On chat command run. And I think we're going to code our agent to move forward by 1.
I love
and it already
this.
says forward, so we don't have to change it.
Yes.
And we want to make sure they can collect that glass, because that's our challenge. So move forward by 1 and collect. And we're going to repeat that because we know that there's more glass in that line of sight.
That's right.
And I think
you think 6. I feel like, yeah, I love this. You counted 6 spaces. I don't know why I feel like I counted 5 spaces. I'm glad we're coding together.
So we're going to repeat 6 times. And the great part about these blocks is you can click and drag and move them around. Trish, did you know if you no, I love your code, Trish. I'm not telling you, don't change your code because it's beautiful. But say if you put a block in and you're like, oh, I don't want that one, you can actually click on it and hit delete or drag it away.
Ooh. I love that. I'm going to try both because, you know, I like being able to do that. You can also, if you're ever grabbing your code and it's like, it's stuck, just pull from the bottom, pull the last block from the bottom and it will like disconnect. And that's kind of nice too. Love it.
They're like little magnets. They lock together. It's amazing. So Trish is done on the chat command run. In our repeat 6 times, because we want our agent to do that 6 times in a row, move forward by 1 and collect all. Trish, let's click that green button and run that code and see how we do.
All right, so I'm going to be the coder. I'm going to hit T for talk. I'm going to, in my chat, I have to type the word run because that's the command I gave it. And let's see what happens.
Boom!
We did it. We're like treasure hunters and coders. We're modern treasure hunters. This is fantastic.
It's like the coding happy dance. Oh. So I would say, Trish, really successful. So if we look now, maybe we peer around into this house because we can't get in. It's locked. I don't know if we told you that, but you can't get in. The door is locked. The door doesn't open until you solve it. So if we look around, we have pieces of glass at the edges.
Love it. Yeah.
So we need to, and we could go either way. Like, this is the brilliance of coding. Like, we could go to the left now and collect them, or we can go to the right and collect them. So if we look at our code agent right now, I think it looks like it's 2 spaces away from either side.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
So why don't we now code our agent to move to the left 2?
Mm-hmm.
But now this is where the direction of your code agent is really important. The eyeballs of your code agent are facing towards that treasure chest. So if we move them to the left 2, be thinking about what direction we would move them, because if we actually code them to move forward again, they're going to hit the side of the building.
Right. Looking at that, I'm almost like I'm drawing it out on a piece of paper with me right now. I'm kind of almost acting. It's like I need to turn. I need to be able to go left by 2. Yeah, this is this. But then, oh, wait a second. Can I like just move to the left? Then can I just go backwards? Because I noticed that block had talked about moving backwards. Like, do I have to face forward when I'm doing this?
No, and Trish, that's the brilliance of coding. You don't have to turn your code agent around. So let's move our agent left to the 2, and then we've discovered we can just move them backwards because we checked out what blocks, what coding blocks we have. So let's do that.
We're gonna moonwalk backwards. Okay, now if I wanted to restart, Emma, I would go back to my NPC and I would hit try again, and then I would have all my code there, right? Or I can hit code and I can just add to my code right now.
Yes, so let's add to your code. So we have moving forward by 1. So after what we've just done, well, we can add to it, Trish, or you can construct either way. I think we can add to it. We'll try.
It will run this again if I add to this.
Oh, that's true.
So if I want to keep my original, so this is where you've got some choices. This is a little bit of a choose your own adventure. If I want to do the whole puzzle from the start and run it all, I just go back to my NPC, I hit try again. If I want to do little pieces of coding to finish it, I can just say, this was awesome code. I'm going to tuck it right here so it's not attached to anything. And I'm just going to run the next part of my code. So what do you think? We should try this all again? Should we do it all one kind of big thing, or should we do pieces?
You know what? Maybe we do pieces and then we can always show the final solution.
Yes.
Should we do that? So we've already conquered that first bit because we've already moved our agent. So we don't want our agent to move forward again, or they're going to try and ram into our treasure chest where our puzzle pieces. So let's move our code agent to the left. So we're going to do that drop down menu, move to the left, and I think we discovered it was 2 spaces.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Now we are going to moonwalk, right, Trish? We're going to do some moonwalking.
I have a question for you. We're going to moonwalk, and we're going to do that exact same 6 times. Can I just take this code I already made and change it from forward to backwards?
Yeah, Trish. Great observation. Yes. Love it. So I always it's like writing. I like to then go edit and read over my work before I send the code agent. Teachers, I know you've been stressing editing, revising. It comes in handy in Minecraft. Who would have thought? So now when Trish, let's just read over it, hits the command run, we're moving left by 2. And because it's the same distance going back, we're going to go with the repeat 6 times. Should we run that code?
Let's do it. Oh, this is so exciting.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so we're back in our space. I can see my agent is there. Oh, guess what? All my glass is gone. We are going to, I think we're going to have to build it.
We do. But you know what? We have all our notes here, Trish, so we can do it. So that is good learning. That this coding does want it all in one. But you know what, Trish? I think we're ready to kind of do our master code now.
I have a feeling I think we can get this all done. This is so fantastic because we're just repeating the same movement. It's kind of like mowing the lawn right now. It's like we're going forward, moving, going back, going forward. This is fantastic. We can do this.
All right, let's tackle this. Let's work through this together. So we knew our first one was to move forward by 1. Look, Trish has it all ready to go. We're going to repeat that 6 times. We're going to move our agent left by 2, but we know we've already discovered the moonwalking. So Trish, did you know you can actually copy code?
How do I copy code? This
Control
is going to save so much time.
A universal tech tip, not just Minecraft, universal, but we can hit Control C to copy and Control V to paste. Boom.
And then I'm just going to change this one to backwards.
All right. Now, Trish, should we add the final part
Let's
here?
do this. I've got this pattern because we went backwards. Now I'm going to need to make sure now I'm moving right to the other side of my house. It was 4 spaces across my house because I drew a little map. So I have 4 spaces to the right, and then I'm just moving forward like we did the first time.
You got Trish, you nailed it. So let's move that, because if we move forward to the left, it would be 4 spaces to get to the other side of our building. So we're going to move right by 4.
Okay.
Just consulting my notes here. And then, there's a pattern here. Trish, why don't we copy that code again? Control C to copy, Control V to paste. And we'll move that down. Now, before I hit the run button, I always like to just kind of look over my work. So I am having moving forward, we're collecting, we're repeating, we move left to the 2, we're moving, we're moonwalking, we're collecting, and then we move to the right. I don't know, I think we might have done it.
I think we've nailed this. I think we are about to cue the Indiana Jones music as he grabs the Holy Grail. This is gonna be great. Okay, I'm gonna run this. Here we go. I'm ready to go into my talk commands. I'm going to type in run. I'm going to execute.
All right. Go, code agent, go.
Moonwalk.
Right. Go on to the right and up. Yeah, Trish, virtual high five. Oh,
yes. So can I go inside of here and go into that?
Yeah, so when you've done the challenge, the door opens. And we can go in. We're going to go into that treasure chest. We're going to right click on it. And look at that. We got our first puzzle piece. And we're going to add that.
So I took it from the chest and I put it in the first row of my inventory.
And you want it in the inventory because that's how you place it on the mural. Now, because Trish, this is a celebration moment. Should we go put our puzzle piece on?
Can we? Is that okay? Yes.
Let's go do it.
You and I like to make things pretty. Let's go do this.
Let's start making this town pretty.
Oh, look at this lovely little piece I have. This is so fantastic.
What category did you pick again?
Friendship.
Oh, friendship. So we're going to now go back out. We have this mural piece. The mural is the middle. And Trish, it actually doesn't matter where you put it on. Now, students, if it's not in your inventory, you can see at the Trish's screen how it's there. If you're on like a laptop, like for me, I don't use a mouse, so I'd use the number 1 to access that. You could use your mouse. But if you didn't put it in your inventory, when you clicked E for inventory, I like to call it E for everything, you can drag it down into the bottom row to access it if you don't see it there. All right, so Trish has earned her first puzzle piece. Let's put it on the mural. And she right-clicked. Look at that. We have our first puzzle piece.
I am so excited to do the next challenge.
Trish, should we check in with our students and see how they're doing?
Oh, I wonder if they coded the same way as us or if they did it a different way. Yes, I want to hear from our friends.
So students, we're gonna check in with you. We'd love to see how you are doing with this. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go back in present mode here. And we did the broken glass challenge. Now, let us know, did you successfully complete the challenge? Were you able to solve the broken glass? I do know we have Mrs. Smith's classes join, and Yadish and Rahan and Stacy and Maya and Miles. We're so happy to have you with here today. Let us know if you did the challenge. Let us know in the forum. Now, heads up, if you would like more time for this challenge, please pause this lesson right now. Spoiler alert, pause this lesson. We're doing the solutions next. So you've been forewarned. Please pause this lesson and if you need more time for this class, or not for this class, for the challenge. Yes. And it's okay if you need more time because it's about trying different strategies, trying things out. It's about learning that critical thinking. And the more you do code, the more you can spot those patterns. So Trish, here are the solutions. So that was the solution that Trish and I did. We're just going to leave it up, screenshot it. That was the solutions to the broken glass. We did the repeat, but you could individually move them block by block as well. If you didn't use the repeat, that's fine too, because not everyone's code is going to look the same. Trish, should we dive into the second challenge?
You know, I'm really excited, and I think Saku and Rithiga, they finished the challenge. They're ready to get going. They're saying hello to us. So we have our friends out there that are coding. If you coded it different than us, Let us know too, because when Emma and I come to play this together again, we might want to do it another way. And I love that you're my thinking partner, Emma. We were able to talk it out and figure out the code together. It was okay that we tried it a couple times, right?
Absolutely. And I love Rafika before. I love like the exclamation marks because I can just like feel the enthusiasm coming out like that. Oh, I finished the challenge. So congratulations. You know what, Mrs. Smith? They're like, we're having so much fun. Can we have a shout out? Absolutely.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith's class, thank you. You're doing awesome. Shout out.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. The second one. So the next one, Trish, is building the house challenge.
Building a house. Okay. This is great. I like Legos. I like building houses. This is going to work.
So we're going to dive back into Trish's Minecraft here. And I'm going to show you how to get to this because we're going to move around the code town.
I'm still standing here admiring our mural. I'm ready to go. Okay, it's going to make me, I need to reshare my screen. Just one moment.
So maybe I'll tell you. So we're now on to Buffy. So Trish is going to go find Buffy. And the challenge is to build 4 walls. Ooh, I think this one's going to get a little bit harder. 4 walls and 3 blocks high. So we're going to go back into the Minecraft world with Trish, and I'm going to show you how to get to your next challenge, which is called building a house. So good luck, students. I'm loving the enthusiasm in the forum. Like, I did it.
It's like making fire. You know what? If I have to build a fire and somebody just comes along and builds it for me and lights it up, and I feel warm. But when I struggled to build that fire, when I had to make that happen and it finally lights up, it's like, yes. That's what coding's like for me. We did that. It was hard and we figured it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we are in the world with Trish. Now, where are blocks of, or not blocks of glass, our broken glass, we are actually going to go past that building. Okay. So Trish, if you want to kind of take your first left on that pathway, or either way, you can actually go either way around the house. And here is our next villager. So we can see that there's a 4x4 kind of area, and we are going to go a little quicker through this one now that you've seen it. We are going to click on our villager, Buffy, and Buffy has said the challenge is on this area. They would like 4 walls, and each wall needs to be 3 blocks high. Okay. And then it says, don't worry, I'll take care of the rest. And, you know, because Trish and I, we've been playing in this code town because we love it so much. Mm-hmm. The building really comes to life after you've finished it. So Trish, let's see if we can talk through this one as well. So 4 walls.
Okay, I've got 4 walls and I can see I have got 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces to move because I'm standing on space number 5. So I can move 4. Okay, wait, I'm not just moving though. I'm having to be able to place a block, aren't I? So I have to be able to place a block. I have to be able to place and move 4. And then I need to be able to turn and do that again, turn and do that again. So like I'm repeating that 4 times to make 1 loop around, right?
Absolutely. So I would suggest a number of repeats. And now, Trish, should we tell them a little bit about gravity in Code Town?
You know, I learned about gravity the hard way. I was used to being able to play in my other server and gravity applied. In here, gravity does not apply to me in the same way. And so I actually ended up having to switch my code because I needed to be able to move up a level first, not at the end. It was like a learning experience for me.
And it was for me too, because I realized in Code Town, like I thought, well, I have to move forward because gravity applies. Like you can't just like, lift, but you can in Code Town. So Trish, let's hit C for code.
Okay.
Let's start working through this code. So maybe, and we're going to go with those chat commands because Trish loves the chat commands. But Trish, should we change it?
You know what? I want to change it. I want to remember which one I'm on. And if we keep coding inside of Code Town, we're going to have some of these layers of commands, and I don't want it to get confused. So I'm going to call this one house. Is that okay?
Let's go with house. So why don't, because we need to essentially build a block like where our code agent is. Well, we don't have to, right? Because our code is. But I want to start constructing that wall right in in the corner.
Okay.
So should we code our code agent to move up one?
Yeah, I need my code agent to kind of like pop up so that I can lay my blocks down, right? Because I can float, I can fly. This is our code world. We can do what we want. I like that.
So maybe we'll code it to move up one so that we're able to place that block.
Love it.
So we're going to move our agent up one, and we will need them to place a block. Now those blocks are called the, hope I'm saying this right, acacia?
Acacia what?
Acacia?
Acacia what?
It's like, Emma, you need to know your building materials a little bit. But we're going to place now if we've moved up one, we're going to place the block down. So we're essentially building underneath our code agent.
That's right. And so I loved that idea. I'm just floating up above my square one. If you imagine the math of the Cartesian plane, X and Y, right? I'm up one, I'm placing a block down underneath of me. I love this. And then I think we talked about, I want to be able to move forward, right? Because I'm going to be doing that again. But we learned last time about these repeats. Do you think I can repeat this instead of having to place it down, move forward, place it down, move forward? Can I?
Absolutely. And we know our walls. We know the dimensions are 4 and 3. So should we try repeating by 4?
Like that. So I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna place a block down, move forward. Place. I think that builds our whole first wall. I think we just have to sort of turn and do it again, right?
Yeah. So if we kind of go in a motion, so this would build one wall, and then we're at the end. So our code agent would then have to go to the right, and then actually to the right again. So should we say agent turn right?
Yep.
Now our agent is going to have to turn right more than once.
Well, I'm like, if we finish one wall, then I'm going to turn right, and I'm going to do this 1, 2, 3 more times.
Yeah. So let's put a repeat on there.
Okay.
And this is where it gets tricky. And students, this is okay to like try things out. Remember, you can go back to your villager and repeat it. So let's think through this. Okay. So we're doing our walls.
Agent pops up. I place my down, I move forward. I turn right, and I'm doing that 4 times because a square has 4 edges.
So we have the 4 walls, so this is good. This would essentially, Trish, give us that whole foundational layer. But Trish,
okay, and then the challenge was we had to make it 3 high, right?
Yeah, so how could we put a repeat on that is then going to essentially repeat everything we just did, but 3 times?
3 times. Okay, and here's another question. I put my repeat for our 4 walls, our main layer. We only moved our agent up 1. I'm going to have to move up again to build the next layer each time, aren't I? So I actually am going to repeat this whole thing 3 more times.
Exactly, and that's going to give us that height of the wall. So we're going to repeat this whole thing. So now this is Caroline. So Trish is adding that in under our main command, and she's going to repeat that 3 times because that is the height. And now let's just kind of work through this, right? We always want to edit, read over our work before we do the coder. So this looks a little crazy in our code, but it makes sense. So we have our agent initially moving up, placing a block, moving forward 4 times. So that's why we put the repeat on. And then we have it turn right. And then we're repeating that 4 times because there's 4 walls.
Okay. Okay.
But then we're repeating, and that essentially gives us the whole first layer. And then we're actually going to put a repeat of 3 times of it moving up by 1 to give us that height of 3. But should we try this?
I think we should try it because right now I've drawn it out. I love that we've talked it out. I love that I'm visualizing some of my 3D shape in space and math, like where am I with those layers? I feel like now I just need to see it happen so I can fix it if it doesn't work.
So cool. All right, so let's click play or run the code. Now, Trish is doing the talk command, so she's going to hit T for talk. And the word she had put in was house, so that's why she's choosing to put house there. And now sometimes we just cross our fingers and be like, oh, code, please work.
I always feel like if you're in your classrooms right now, give us a drum roll, because this was harder coded than we did the last time. So give us a little drum roll in your classroom. I'm about to hit run. Let's see if this happens. Let's open this treasure chest.
Okay.
Whoa. Look at this happen. Please move up. Yes.
Yeah.
I know if you think about it, our code looked more complicated visually, but really we were just doing the same thing over and over again.
Okay, Trish, watch what's going to happen to our house
Ready?
here.
Oh, I love it.
Now, Trish, you can go inside the house, but I think it actually opened a door. Let's look around.
That old shed.
Open
It was
the
locked before we got
door
here.
To
Yeah.
that old shed. Well, Trish, let's go in there. Let's see.
My treasure chest. Right click. Yes. Inventory. Thank you.
Thank you. So, you know what, Trish, because we like to make things pretty,
Let's do it.
let's do it. So let's make our way back to, so there's our house, our broken glass challenge. So we're going to go around that building. We're going to go to our mural. And remember, you can put this on anywhere. Okay, Trish,
okay.
where are you going to put it?
I think I'm gonna match it. It looks like a match it.
I love it. It's real. Oh, we're getting more of the picture. And I'm so excited because Trish, remember, you chose the theme of friendship. So I'm so excited. And you know what? I love this about, like, this just wants to make me like code more and more and more.
Well, all I'm thinking is there's only 9 challenges. Why can't there be more? Because I want to keep going. Do you think we have time to do another one with our friends? Actually, should we check in with everybody
We
and
should
see if
check
they
in.
did it
So,
like us?
students, let's see how our students are going. So
All right.
I'm gonna jump over here. Trish, I don't know about you, I'm having so much fun.
It's like the best morning ever.
The best morning. So let us know, did you successfully complete the build challenge? And Yadish, amazing. That's your shout out. Thank you so much. I think it's Thenua. I hope I'm doing my best to pronounce your name. So loving this code down activity. So let us know, were you able to do the building one? And I have to confess, I did find that one a bit harder than the broken glass, but I really love how it makes me like think about the patterns and how we can use those repeats. Now you can even do a code without the repeats, right? You don't have to have the repeats in there. You can code, you know, building a block forward, moving. You can have it all individually as well and be very successful. I love this. The class, Trish, they're even
Giving us a drum roll. I thought I would get a little drum roll there. That's so great. And like, Emma, if I wanted to, like, let's say I was curious if it could have been done another way, or I was coding with my friends and I found out they did it another way. Can I just go back to that exact same puzzle, try it again, and like just totally try different code on it again?
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get another puzzle piece, Trish, because you've already earned it. But
maybe we'll get the glory, the feeling of like I figured out another way.
But that satisfaction, I don't know,
Yeah.
there's something about coding to me that's so satisfying. All right, students, pause this lesson. Spoiler alert, the solution is coming up. So please pause us if you do not want the solution. So this was the solution again. I think it's kind of, I like thinking of it from the middle and kind of working my way out, but we moved our code agent up, we placed a block down, we moved forward, we repeated that, did all the 4 walls, and then we built it up. So Trish, I'm really proud of us.
I am proud of us too. This is so great. I just feel like we're doing things, even teachers out there, you can code, you can do this too. You don't have to be a computer programmer. You don't have to write in coding languages. Anybody can do Code Town. And in fact, it's going to help you try other coding things that you can keep doing. This is so great.
All right, so up next, before we go back to Trish, this is our third challenge of the day, and this might take us to the end, but that's okay. But Code Down doesn't stop with us, right, Trish? It does not stop with us. After us, there's 6 more challenges, and the beauty of it is you can complete it in any order, so you're always going to look for those villagers. So let's go back over to Trish, and I'm going to take you to find the Code Town staircase.
Yes, please. This is I'm just sharing my screen. I've got to resume my game. All right, I'm ready.
Right,
you lead the way.
Let's go back on that pathway, like towards the broken glass.
Okay.
And we're going to follow that pathway down. In fact, we're going to go like all the way down. We're going to kind of go, oh, sorry, Trish. Well, we can go that way too. Sorry, head down. I didn't give very clear instructions. Trish, why don't you go to where your house is? So go back. We're going to go around the broken glass. This will be some better directions. So we're going to go broken glass. We're going to head down. We're going to admire our newly built house. And we're actually going to go straight back. So we're going to go past this house.
Just keep going past it, past my villager. Okay.
Yep. Keep going. Now you're going to turn left. No, sorry, straight. Worst navigator ever. Now you're going to find, if you turn around, Trish, you'll see your villager, but you'll see this glass staircase. That is a glass staircase there.
Okay.
And let's find our challenge. So let's interact with our Code Town villager. This is Chaz, and Chaz says, oh no, I've locked myself out of my house. There is a gold plate that will open the door at the top of this looping staircase, but I can't fit up there. Can you have the agent stand on the gold plate so I can get inside? There's a puzzle piece in it for you if you do. And let's be honest, Trish and I want to get another puzzle piece for our
I want to see our picture complete. Yes.
So Trish, let's hit start.
Okay.
And let's see where our code agent is. So if we kind of back away from that staircase and we want to go up. So we can see, I'm just going to make some notes here, Trish, for our staircase. But it looks like we need to code. I like how it says like Rafi T agent. We need to code our agent to go up by 1, right?
So we have to float up and then we have to get onto that little next block, right? So it's like 2 motions I'm doing.
Yeah, so let's think. So we know we have to go up and then maybe code them to go forward 1.
Yeah.
So essentially up
Then
1
like,
and over 1. But is there maybe any, do we notice, is there a pattern?
Well, I'm just going to start by counting the steps because my agent's standing on 1 and then I'm looking and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 steps to the top.
And I think our villager has told us that that gold plate is at the top. Now, we can't really see it, but maybe we could maybe walk around to the side, like maybe the right-hand side of the building.
Take a little look. Let's just make sure. I like taking a little look. Let's back up here. Oh yeah, there's a ladder.
Oh, should we climb up that ladder? By the way, W, going your forward motion. Let's climb up that ladder. Oh, sorry, Trish, you fell off your ladder.
I fell off my ladder. I'm gonna turn. This is my problem with looking at 2 screens right now. Ah!
See, but this is totally normal in Minecraft, especially if you're new to Minecraft and you're getting used to moving around. Like, it's okay to fall off your ladder. We try again. All right, we're going up. Oh, look, we're on top of
there it is. That's the gold plate.
That's the gold plate right there. Trish,
okay.
That's our goal. So maybe, okay, that's where I know where it is. Look at that nice view.
To look around our world here. This is awesome. I can do all of these things.
We're having a nice scenery break here. So students, if you're following along, please enjoy the scenery of Code Town.
All right. So I've got my gold block. I can just get down off my ladder. Can I just jump?
You probably can. Don't fall too hard though, Trish. There we go. Boom. Okay, we're off the ladder. All right, so we know where our gold plate is. Let's see if we count how many stairs is our code agent going to have to go?
I count 4.
I count 4 too. So C for code, let's start putting some stuff in.
This code seems like we coded some complicated things. Does this seem too easy? It's like all I have to do is move up and move forward and do that 4 times.
You know what, students, we wanted, well, not that we're giving your brain a break because we never want to do that, but this one, maybe it's just the design of it, Trish. I don't want to use the word easier, but I think it's just a design for me that's easier for my brain to wrap its head around.
I feel like we just happen to like have flexed our coding muscles all morning, so we're feeling warmed up. This is feeling easier because, you know, our brains are working.
All right, so Trish loves her chat commands. Let's change the word. Let's go staircase because that's
okay, perfect.
Or stairs. No, stairs is fine too. We're going to do on chat command staircase.
Okay.
And I think we decided we need to move our agent up by 1.
And then, yeah, okay. Move up by 1, up, okay, and then forward onto the step, right? So we're kind of floating and then forward.
Yeah, so up by 1, forward by 1, and then we counted 4 steps into the gold plate. I love that we went up and checked where the gold.
That was such a great idea. I would never have thought of doing that without you. I'm glad we're coding together.
I was like, and we got such a beautiful view of Code Town. So now we're going to repeat that 4 times. And we'll just click and drag and move our blocks. We're going to check over our work. Okay, on chat command staircase, we're moving up by 1, forward by 1. I'm pretty sure that would get us on the next step. And then repeating it by the 4 times. I'm feeling pretty good about this code, Trish.
I'm feeling super good about this. This is totally going to work. All right. T for talk. I'm going to type in my chat command. Yeah! Oh, yeah.
And look at that. Every time we complete a challenge, it rewards us by opening the door. So let's go in. Treasure chest. Puzzle piece. We have our 3rd puzzle piece. Oh, I'm so excited.
Right.
But also the excitement of like placing it. It's like, do I want to place it underneath? Do I want to place it over top? What part of the picture do I want? All right, we're going to go back. And now we're kind of in the back corner of Code Town. So maybe we go back. Yeah, let's take a different route. Let's go up that. Following the pathways will always get you back. So if you turn left, Trish, it's going to take us to the mural.
Oh, good. Okay. It's sort of fun to look around. I'm like looking at signs. I'm like, ooh, closed due to supernatural activities. I'm excited to look in there later.
Yeah, spoiler, one of the challenges is called Haunted House.
There's broken glass. I see where I am. This is great. It's like I'm learning my little Code Town community today.
Okay, now I'm like so excited. Now, Trish, I'm going to give you the right. Where do you want your puzzle piece?
I'm trying to look at it here. Look, I'm going to say, well, let's start with here, and then maybe we'll move it.
Okay. Oh.
It definitely does not go there, but
that's okay. But that's okay. That doesn't matter. It's still exciting.
Oh, it looks like part of the building. What if I want to move it? Can I move it? Can I just grab it back again?
I don't. Oh. Trish, can you just show our students that one more time?
Sure. This is my, so let's say I put it here. So I'm going to right click to put it there, and I don't want it there anymore. Just do your standard, like regular left click, and it takes back your puzzle piece. Any item in your inventory will work this way. And just walk towards your item again to recollect it and put it back in your inventory. Then you can choose where you want to go. And I'm like, actually, maybe I want to put this piece here.
Oh.
Yeah, because doesn't it look like the side of the tower? This still doesn't quite match up, but I like it better here.
It does seem like it fits a little bit more, but also because Trish and I are very visual people, I'm like looking at the tree line, and your tree line's coming together, but we could always do some rearranging later, right? Because there's still 6 more challenges now, students. We wish we had all day with you. We don't. That's a bummer. But we have successfully done 3 of the challenges, and we've put it on the mural. Trish, should we check back with the students and see?
I cannot wait to hear from our friends, because I'm hoping they're having as much fun as we are. Let us know. Give a shout out if you have a thinking partner, a coding friend that's working with you. I'm here with my friend Emma today. Give them a shout out in the forum. Like, let's celebrate thinking today. This is great.
Amazing. So we've just successfully done the Code Town staircase. We helped Chaz get up to that 4th step, and we got our puzzle piece. Let us know if you are able to I have such a hard time with that word, successfully complete the Code Town staircase. Let us know. That one was nice. I feel like our brains are just super warmed up, and it was like, okay, blocks, repeat, like nailed it, Trish.
Yes.
Oh, Yadish finished the event. Wow. And you know what? Some of our students are making incredible connections, because Trish, a lot of our students have probably done the time craft earlier in the week. And so they're coding, like they've probably been flexing their coding a lot this week. So I love that our students are making those connections and realizing kind of the patterns but they're loving it. They're loving that creativity, that critical thinking. So we're really, really proud of you. So keep sharing your successes in the forum. It's been really nice hearing from you.
Yeah, this is exciting. I wish I could do things like this all week. That is so exciting to know. We have everyone has already collected 9. Now, Emma, if I do happen to finish all these challenges, like I'm totally rewarded when I do it, right?
That mural, I mean, the mural alone is a huge reward, but just even being proud of yourself, like these are amazing amazing skills to have for our modern world. Like knowing how to do these blocks is just universal skills. Like it's for Minecraft, but it's also for so many things. Even just that sequential thinking, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, is incredible.
I love it. And I'm pretty sure we can also get a certificate if I complete them, right? It's a little something to hang on my real wall as opposed to just my virtual mural.
Yes. So before we do that, Trish, spoiler alert, pause this. Solutions are coming up. So the solutions for the Code Town staircase are right here. So we moved up. We went over, we repeated it, and of course we've been changing the chat command. You don't have to do that, but we like to do it to match. It's
fun. It makes us feel like we're coding today. This is great.
Yeah, and maybe we don't have time for these challenges, but Trish, should we just maybe tell you some of the other ones that are available in Code Town?
I would love to hear more. You have shown me so many magical things today. Please, I want to know what I'm going to come back to do today.
And I'm going to be skimming over the solutions. Just know those. So I'm going to be like, boom, I'm not going to show them. But there is this spiral. And like I said, there's 9. You don't have to go in any order. There's one called Carrots. Super cute. Another one is the pool. And this pool is beautiful. So go check it out. Tour around, spend some time exploring Code Town. The 7th one is Cat in the House. It's like little teasers. And you know what I love, Trish, is every time you do one of these challenges, it like opens up a door. Like it truly is a treasure hunt for those puzzle pieces.
That's the thing. I love it's so interactive. I do a lot of coding, and you know, it's a screen and there's an emulator and we'll see some of those things. But to have it still be this totally interactive little community and there's villagers and I can see things happen, it just ups it. It makes my coding even more exciting.
Absolutely. So the 8th challenge was the haunted house, and that was the one I know, Trish, when we were walking back to our mural, and it said.
Supernatural, like out of order, whatever. Yes, I was intrigued by that.
And I have to remember if it's this one or another one. But actually, Trish, when I was doing Code Town previously, I couldn't find one of my villagers, and I was like looking around, looking everywhere, and I couldn't find one. So students, hint, you might have to go on the roof again.
I'm so glad you showed me that. I didn't even know that that was possible. I felt so, well, even though I fell off my ladder 3 times when I got up there, it was a win.
So hint, students, if you're looking for a villager, it might even be the haunted house one actually, but hint, if you can't find a villager, they're on the roof. So look for ladders. So a little hint, if you're having troubles finding one of the challenges, look for some ladders. And the last one is called gold plate. So it works very similar to the staircase one, but it's in a building and you actually have a really good view of it. So look for the gold plate and you will code your code agent to stand on that gold plate. So now we are out of time. Really sorry, but we want to tell you about that certificate and let us know how many challenges were you able to complete. And Trish, maybe we can switch to you really quick, but when you're done and you kind of hit escape menu, we can, there's a certificate for you. So if you click I'm finished, so we're going to go back into Trish's Minecraft world, but you can see when she clicks I'm finished, and even if we're done 3, like to me, that's still huge. It will be, you can click get certificate.
Okay, I'm just going to bring my little screen over here.
And look at that.
I can even type my name.
Yeah. Yes. Trish, you have successfully completed an hour of code, and look at that, like confetti.
Oh,
congratulations.
Man. Yes.
And Trish, well deserved. Well deserved.
Co-earned, I should say. Trish and Emma, we did this all together. I couldn't have done it without you. I love it.
I don't know about you, Trish, but I'm definitely going to be diving back into Code Town later. So students, make sure to get your certificate. And we would love to hear from you. Trish, you're not even going to believe this. We have a couple students that finished all 9 challenges in that
No way. Well, now I know who the super geniuses are that are going to be taking over the world. Remember, Emma and Trish, when you're, building your brilliant, beautiful designs to make the world a better place.
I think we've found Layla's future colleague.
Yes, exactly. That's congratulations. And you know what, even if you didn't do 9, if you did 1 and this was your first time in Minecraft encoding, that is seriously amazing too. Everybody did something challenging today. That's awesome.
Wow, amazing. So we'd love to know what your favorite Code Town challenge. Now, Trish, did you have a favorite out of the 3 that we did?
It's funny. I like them all for different reasons, but I honestly think even though it seemed the simplest, I think my favorite was the staircase. 2 reasons. I didn't know I could go up and see my entire world, and that made me very excited. And the second thing is I think that even though the staircase seemed simple, it got a whole lot harder, and we were going to do some variables and there's going to be a spiral. And so I'm really excited to go back and make that staircase be amazing.
Yes. And you know what? Stop and enjoy the view. When you're out there, take a pause.
Thank you for letting me do that. I just wanted to look around.
So we want to just give a huge thank you, Kevin, Layla, everyone at Minecraft Education. You have made our day amazing with Code Town. I can't even wait to dive into the other challenges. So thank you so much. We appreciate your time. We love the design of Code Town. We have so much fun. Students, I am so sorry our time has come to an end. We could easily hang out with you all day long. Please connect with your teacher to get your next steps. Teachers, no pressure to keep coding, but if your students are loving it, those other 6 challenges are amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you for being my teacher today, Emma. It was so much fun. Bye, everybody.